My dear friends, I am Sethuram from Nivedita Academy. Today I would like to discuss about some grammar lessons about a verbal group. You know, every class a subject predicate is there. In predicate, verb is a very core one. Without a verb, you cannot say it is a predicate. A verb cannot be said to be a single word. It is always more than a word. So we say a verb as a verbal group. A verb has more than a word. Almost all the sentences, all the clauses, you have verbs also. The verb, though sometimes the verb seems to be single in number, but there are two. At least there must be one main verb and one or more auxiliary verbs. Sometimes the auxiliary verbs may not be visible, but it is understood. At the surface level, you may not find that auxiliary verb sometimes. In some other verbal groups, you cannot find that auxiliary verbs, but they are understood. You can find out. You can understand easily. So that's why we say a verb is a verbal group, because every verb has a main verb and one or more auxiliary verb. For example, he works hard. You can say works is only single verb. How can you say that is a verbal group? Yes, it seems to be single. The verb has yes with the verb, works, yes is there. Why that yes is there, The yes is used in a simple present tense. You are using yes with the verb because you are using third person singular as a subject. When you use the third person singular as a subject, you use yes or ies or es like that. That yes refers to does as auxiliary verb. Suppose you are using some other person as a subject. First person I or we, second person you, or third person plural they. When you don't use yes or ies or yes, because the auxiliary verb is to do there. Suppose you use ed form, that shows did is auxiliary verb. That is understood. So here auxiliary verb is there, main verb is also there, work is a main verb. These do forms are not used in statements, but they are understood. It is there. You can understand. Do, does or did. These forms you can understand easily. But they are used in some other kind of sentences. For example, you are using yes no type question or WH question or tag questions. You can use do or does, did. Or negative sentences or emphatic sentences, you are using do, does or did. Here you see he works hard. When you change into a questionary sentence, yes no type question, the auxiliary verb comes before the subject. So you say it is a does he work hard. When you change into WH question, direct question, it becomes how does he work. Negative sentence, he does not work hard. When you change it into emphatic sentence, it becomes he does work hard. You use the does refers to the emphasis. You are emphasizing. He works hard is only a statement. You are not emphasizing. He does work hard, that shows emphasize. It is a emphatic sentence. And the another one, this sentence you see, he is writing a letter. Here be is auxiliary verb. It is always, whenever be is used as auxiliary, it is always followed by ing form. So you say be ing is auxiliary verb. Work is a main verb. So being be hyphen ing is auxiliary verb. Work is write is a main verb here. He is writing a letter, write is a main verb. So whenever you use be as auxiliary, it is always followed by ing form. So main verb is only the infinitive verb, that is write is a main verb. And then next one is he has been playing football. Here the verbal group is has been playing. Here you have a main verb. Play is a main verb. You have two auxiliary verbs. One is Have en form, another one is bing. Have, has, had. These are a kind of auxiliary verbs. Whenever these have, has, had are used as auxiliary verb, they are followed by past participle. That's why I have used en or ed form. Most of the verbs, regular verbs ends with ed form. Some verbs ends with en. For example, write, wrote, written. Give, gave, given. Eat, ate, eaten. Drive, drove, driven. Write, wrote, written. So en forms. That's why we say this is en or ed form. And it is followed by another one. Here is a has been playing. The been en is a because that en is a because has is auxiliary verb. We have used has because third person singular we are using has. For other persons we use have only in present tense. For past tense you use had. You have be is also have. En has gone with has. So be is left over. So you have ing form. It's just like a logic. It's mathematics you say. So be is a because it is auxiliary verb. So you have ing form. So bing is an auxiliary verb. So main verb is play. You have two auxiliary verbs, one main verb. So another one, he must have been building a house. Build is a main verb. You have another three auxiliary verbs. Must, and then have en or ed, bing. The en is a because have is a, be is a, that's why we have ing form. So build is a main verb. So you have every verbal group, you have a main verb and one or more auxiliary verbs. You know, what is the location of main verb? Main verb occupies a final position in the verbal group, whereas auxiliary verbs precede the main verb, comes before the main verb. Main verb indicates action, whereas do you think that auxiliary verbs are necessary? When main verb does the function of action, showing action, then what's the necessity for these auxiliary verbs? Do you think? Is there any necessity? Yes, they need. Because auxiliary verbs only show whether the action happened, or will happen, or it is happening, or was happening, or will be happening. And also different situations of happening. You know the modal auxiliary verbs, will, shall, can, may, must, would, should, could, might. These are all showing the actions which happen in different situations. So these auxiliary verbs are very necessary to convey meaningful message. Without auxiliary verbs you cannot convey the meaningful message. So auxiliary verbs are also very necessary. So every verbal group you need a main verb and auxiliary verbs. Yes. And then next topic let us study is finite verb. You know what's a finite verb? Finite verb is a verb which indicates a tense. Yes, in English there are two tenses, present tense and past tense. You would have studied the future tense also. What I am teaching you is a modern grammar where there is no future tense. I will tell you why the modern grammarians say there is no future tense later on. Let us study later on. The finite verb is a verb which indicates a tense, whether it is present or past. Moreover, this finite verb always occupy the initial position in the verbal group. As you said, main verb occupies a final position in the verbal group. The finite verb always occupies the initial position in the verbal group. Moreover, there is a finite verb only used to change a statement into a question or negative, or vice versa. So that way, for example, let us say he works hard. Here works is a finite. He is only one verb. Suppose you take his auxiliary verb, does is auxiliary verb, does is a finite verb, work is a main verb. And he is writing a letter, is a finite verb, and writing is a non-finite verb and non-finite verb. And he has been playing football, has is a finite verb, been is a non-finite, and playing is also non-finite. And he must have been building a house, where you see must is a finite verb. This is occupying the initial position. It shows a present tense. All these And all the other verbs are all non-finite. Have, been, building, these are all non-finite verbs. So here the first verb only shows tense. All these things are showing present tense. Suppose worked is a past tense, had past tense, but here has is a present tense. All are showing present tense. Okay, write that. And they are only used for changing a questionary into, it's a statement into question. Suppose you use he works hard, does is auxiliary verb. Once you bring that does before the subject becomes a question. Does he work hard? Instead of hard, you put how. You bring how before the auxiliary verb. How does he work? So the does comes before the auxiliary verb in the questionary form. Negative sentence also, you said that he does not work hard. Not, you are using not only after first verb, that's a finite verb, not. He is not writing a letter. You are using not, he is not. He is not after finite verb. Is he writing a letter? It's a questionary sentence. Once you bring that auxiliary verb before that first auxiliary verb, finite verb before the subject becomes yes no type question. Okay. And then what's he writing? He has been playing football. Has he been playing football? What has he been playing? How long has he been playing? You can say. Suppose you want to make it into a questionary sentence, you have to use not only after has. You cannot say anywhere else you can use it like that. He has been, you can use not after been also. No. That's not correct. You have to use not only after finite verb has. Just like that, he must have been building a house. Must he have been building a house? Yes, no type question. What must he have been building? Is a WH question. Suppose you want to make it into a negative sentence, you have to use not only after must, not after have or been. You have to use not only after must. That's a finite verb. That only is a finite verb. Okay, that way. Then I told you there is no future tense. Okay, that we will discuss the next session. Let us wind up today with this session. Thank you very much.